Pete, the cat's train trip. Pete loved trains. He loved the way they looked. He loved the way they sound. He even loves the way they smell. Now Pete is going to visit his grandma. And he gets to ride on a train. Just then, a train pulls into the station. Is this it? Pete asks. Bob shakes his head. Sorry, Pete. That one's going the other direction. Another train speeds through the station without stopping. What happened? Pete asked. Why didn't it stop? It's a cargo train, Bob explained. It carries things from place to place, not passengers. Finally, Pete's train arrives. The doors slide open, and the conductor steps out. All aboard, he shouts. Pete follows his mom onto the train. As they walk, he looks around. The train is full of passengers. It's so exciting. Pete's mom finds 3 seats. Here we are, boys, she says. I can't wait to see Grandma, Bob says. I can't wait to explore the train, says Pete. A fan of trains, are you? The conductor says, collecting Pete's ticket. I always liked them, too, even since I was a boy. It's been a lot of fun. I love trains, Pete says. This is my first time on one. The conductor hands Pete a ticket back to him. Well then, you'll want to keep this so you'll always remember your first time on a train. The conductor moves on to collect the rest of the passengers' tickets. But he isn't going long. A few minutes later, he comes back with a gift for Pete. It's an engineer's hat. The conductor places the hat on Pete's head. How about a tour of the train, he said. Pete grins. Far out. Pete follows the conductor from car to car. The ground rumbles under his feet. This, says the conductor, when they reach this car, is the caboose. Pete looks out the window. They are going over a bridge. Groovy, he said. Next, the conductor leads Pete to the front of the train. Come in, says the engineer. Pete walks in and looks around. Wow, he says. The engineer shows Pete the engine. He shows Pete the train brakes. Pete looks out the front of the train. Everything looks as different from up here. Look, he said, a tunnel. Pete watches through the window, and they go through the tunnel. The train's light shines on the track. Hey, kid, the engineer says. Want to give the horn a try? Pete can't believe it. You bet, he said. Toot, toot. That was awesome, Pete says. As Pete makes his way back to his seat, he meets the other passengers on the train. They are all going different places for different reasons. Pete plays a game with one of the passengers. He sings a song with another. What a groovy ride. Finally, Pete gets back to his seat. There you are, Pete's mom says. Our stop is next. Pete climbs onto his seat and looks out the window. Slowly, the train station comes into sight. On the platform, Pete sees his grin. As soon as the train comes to a stop, he races out to greet her. Grandma, Grandma, Pete shouts. I got to see the caboose and the engine and honk the horn. Pete's grandma gives him a big hug. That sounds like quite the exciting trip, she says. Pete hugs his grandma back. It was, he says, but I am glad we're here now. I love trains, but I love being here with you even more, Grandma.